eye that, huh, I saw in the corner of my eye that yes, exactly. Hi, everybody. We're just waiting for Mark to get back. I have no idea what happened. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the stream go down. And it doesn't make any sense why it would go down. So I sent Mark a new invite. And so hopefully he'll get in here in a second. It's a very strange situation. I'm using StreamYard, which is a different way to invite people in to do recordings and interviews. It's just really easy, but it just randomly hung up on me. After we talk with Mark, oh, here he is. There we go.
Hey.
Hi, sorry about that. I have no idea what happened. It was not on our end. Sometimes Twitch just gets twitchy, so I'm sorry
Do we get
for
to
that.
start again? I'm having too much fun.
I know. No. I would love to talk to you. I mean, there's so much to talk to you. I have to hit upon your music, but I do want to talk to you about your COVID times because I have had a really great time taking time off, and it's
You're terrible. You don't hate people, but you hate lots of people.
I do. And I've had a great time. I'm like, wow, unplugging from everything, meetings and auditions and everything. I'm like, I've had the best year. I'm ready to get out a little bit, but you are such a social person. How has your COVID been? How have you dealt with it? I mean, I assume now that you've been talking is you've been working constantly. So
no,
okay.
I did a bit of doom, which I can't admit to.
Yeah.
But when conventions shut down, that stopped my plans for a lot. I mean, at one point I had $35,000 or $40,000 worth of bank tickets just from conventions I couldn't do.
What?
So what's amazing, they've all been rebooked and all been done. So I will get to see you guys in all those places we didn't get to go. We will.
Yeah. I saw that you're doing like a last minute one in Atlanta. Is that next weekend?
I'm doing one in Atlanta this weekend, which is any opportunity I get to go see people. You know, I love that. Now, look, I'm not a naturally gregarious person. I'm a massively shy human being.
What?
The bluffs is I have massive anxiety and I'm a depressive and all those things. But I guess what it is I'm so grateful. I'm 31 years sober and I'm so grateful for the life that I have and the things that I have. And it's all down to the support of what it is that I do. Mm-hmm. And I was used for years by Supernatural to do the serious talking or, do the bits at the end explaining why we care so much about the Supernatural family. It was me who came up with Supernatural family because I hate the word fan, because fan comes from fanatic. And we're back to the days of watching, much as I love the guys on Channel 5, but people say, oh, look, funny people in furry suits and costumes. And it was a point
I don't like that. It's not
now
right.
The geeks have taken over the earth and, as we've said, and we knew it would, and now we have a position of power way more. The viewers, the viewers have a position of power way more than ever before. Mm-hmm. And I owe a public that. I come from live music and live theater, and I always had an audience. And when, I stumble, that's the energy, that organic energy between your audience and yourself is sacred. And you don't get that making television with 150-year friends.
I mean,
going to a convention and talking, and every actor I know that had never done conventions, like Matt Smith and people like that who had never done conventions, they're like, I don't know. Just people sort of told me, is it a bit sad? Is it difficult? And I'm like, you have no idea, my friend.
It's so much fun. It really is energy. It's the energy. I
get out there and I'm Morton Downey Jr. with a microphone. I'm out in the audience harassing babies and doing. It's so much fun.
You get that kind of high that you do improv or
and it's just being and it's such
it's inspiring too because it makes me want to go do more things that add to that sort of relationship. When my reps that I don't have acting reps right now. I haven't had them for a couple of years because I just couldn't find people I connected with. But they would only send me out for half-hour comedy. I'm just like, I understand that I'm good at comedy, but I want to stay in this world that I've made a name for myself here. I like being the quippy one, but there are opportunities for that in the world that I've already established. Because God forbid I, get on a show that has no, intersection with the people I like hanging around with.
You and me, a nice genre buddy cop show set somewhere in the future or the past, somewhere interesting. You and me.
Yes.
On Sci-Fi tomorrow. Pitch it, guys. Let's get it done.
I want to pitch my dream job is as a supernatural coroner. So it's
Love it.
so Mark, you're one of the partners, okay? And you've
As long as I'm
got
not the dead body, I don't care.
you're not the dead body. No, you're either the police chief or the supervisor, or maybe even the irascible guy who precedes them at all the crimes. Let the two leads do the daily work. We don't need to do the 12, 14-hour days. Okay. They
Just
can
like
do those.
Supernatural. Let them do
exactly.
let them do the meaningful looks and the love and the
Yes.
and the I love you, bro part, and then we can
exactly.
get on with fun.
And you're the irascible, maybe you know what? I know. You're the father of one of the partners, but you're also the chief of police. You know, like you're the head, but then you're having to be a supervisor to your daughter, who you have a very strained relationship with.
We're getting an interesting Batman vibe out of this. There's a certain character in Batman that's mine. I was talking to Moffat and Mark Gatiss about, because once upon a time, the idea of doing Super Who-Lock, everybody was so excited by the idea of Super Who-Lock.
Such a good idea.
So they wanted me, because I was Super and Who, they wanted me to be Super Who-Lock. And you have no idea how close it was. You have no idea how close it was. We tried so many things, but Moffat doesn't write like that. And Gatiss is very, very honest and wonderful human being. And we'd have these conversations where Moffat would go, would you please stop telling your fans to write you into Sherlock? Because you know I don't work like that. And I'm like, I know you don't, but I can't stop people having what they want.
You can't.
And the character I wanted to play in Sherlock Holmes, Gatiss made his way to find me in San Diego, and he came over and he said, listen, we love you, you know that. And he said, but we're not touching that character, because they knew that the movie was going to touch that character. Not Moriarty. I wasn't interested in playing Moriarty. Their Moriarty was genius.
Oh God, so good.
Yeah, Andrew's wonderful. But and also their Charles Augustus Magnuson was one of the greatest episodes I've ever seen. The Mind Palace. The Mind Palace episode. If you haven't seen it, see it, you'll love it. But the idea is that I wanted to play Sebastian Moran, the second most dangerous man in London, next to Moriarty, who was the empty room was the original story. He shot the guy through the window.
What? And they didn't want to take you up on it?
No, they weren't going to touch it, because they knew it was going to either Guy Ritchie or whoever was doing. They were going to use that.
Because they knew that they were doing it, and the Robert Downey Jr. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and I was like, and they said, look, we know. But it was, it was the same thing with Battlestar. I was like, I'll sweep the floors. And they were like, we don't know, we're not sure. And Ike was so nice about it. And then Ron was like, okay, I got this thing for you. And that was the game. And I'm disappointed by that.
Well, there's not much you can do. Like you can, I've had people in very big positions of power said, I really thought it would be a great idea to do a spinoff with Charlie, but the executives didn't like, I'm not going to go into details, but there's like, yeah.
There's never been a spin-off of Supernatural that's worked. And there's a reason, and it's really simple, and it explains so much of things. And there's no disrespect to anybody who's either tried. I love all of those people I've ever worked with. We're part of a giant family, including you, and always have been. That's not the point. The point is it's about the Winchester brothers. And when you forget it's about the Winchester brothers, it's over. And the reason why Castiel, especially, and Crowley as a secondary note, are so loved by the Supernatural family, is that they love the Winchesters.
Yeah. No, same thing with Charlie. I think I have high hopes for the new spinoff that they're working on, because Robbie Thompson's doing it, and he invented Charlie, and Robbie's so brilliant, and he loves. So I can at least have hope that there is a special quality and a special relationship I have with Robbie, because he's just a wonderful person.
In order for that lot to bring me into anything, hell would have had to have frozen over. To be absolutely honest, I left under my own auspices at a very odd time. It was spun very weirdly. It is what it is.
Time goes on, and it really is.
I just didn't want. Listen, the reason why I didn't go and do the Supernatural conventions, and the reason why I didn't do that, because every damn question would have been the same thing. And my friends who were working on the show, who I love, don't need somebody in there being asked constantly, "Are you coming back? Are you coming back? Why did are you coming back?"
Yeah.
The time was done. It was finished. It was over. It was time to do something else. And I'm so proud of doing it. I'm so proud of being part of it, and I'm proud for my friends for what they've done with it. I love you.
Yeah,
I love your
it ended wonderfully, except we didn't get a wrap party, which is kind of a bummer. No, so okay, so you did?
Yeah, it was my wedding. Was the wrap party.
Oh, it was your wedding? Yeah. So tell me about your music. So have you been able to do a lot more music during COVID? Because you haven't. No.
No. Wow. They really are diverting flights from Burbank over my house.
I've been muting my thing because a couple of them have gone over my head too.
Well, at least people are flying, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
No, I was playing with Robin Hitchcock when I left Supernatural. Robin called me up and said, "Do you want to go play?" I'm like, "Great, we haven't played since 1982. Let's go out and play." So we did,
Amazing.
and it was fun to do. And I played I played venues in England that I hadn't played since 1981 or two. And I mean, I played on a lot of his stuff and know a lot of his stuff, and it was just fun. And that gave me the opportunity to go back to the vendors that I knew. So I was supported by Remo and Zildjian and Fender and everything, and they were just amazing to us.
Yeah.
So, I get the luxury if I don't have to travel in a van.
Now, so
I can
what?
sleep at a
But
decent
but
hotel.
but tell me, take me backwards because I did you start out so your dad is always an actor. Did
Mhm.
you start out wanting to become an actor like him, or did you wanted to be a musician?
I was a musician. I was a paid musician at 15. I was making records on Rough Trade,
Amazing.
1980. I was with the TV personalities in 1980, and I played with Nicky Sudden and all these bands that other people are influenced by and stuff. And I played with Robin when I was 17.
Yeah.
And
Amazing.
it was just, it's something I've always loved doing. And my dad came to see me play the Troubadour with Robin. The last time he seen me play Robin was 82.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "You're just loving it. Every minute of it is fun for me. To play live is just the greatest enjoyment. I love playing drums." So
Yeah, I've never seen you play in person. I need to.
when we did the Supernatural
Oh
conventions.
yeah, we did. You played a couple of the ones that I played. You played on
The
stage. That
weird
was a long
thing
time ago.
was that Loud and Swain are a great band. They're an LA band.
Yeah.
They've been around 20 odd years. And I love Rob and I love Billy and I love all those guys. They're just superb guys.
Yeah.
But they were being treated, with all due respect, they were being treated as a sort of house wedding band. I think the Elastic Waist Band was the name of the band. And it became this sort of thing where I had to cajole Gary and Adam into actually using a real PA rather than the vocal mics that have been around for people to do.
They've definitely leveled up. They've definitely leveled up. Like it's a real concert.
53-foot trailer and sponsored by every major music manufacturer in the country. And it was just a great show and it was great to do. And I was happy to be part of that. It was about taking it from them not being taken seriously to them being taken seriously.
No, I mean, it's the thing. It's the thing of the weekend. I haven't done a Supernatural convention in so long. I mean, not doing conventions, it was like such a regular part of my world. And I think my first one will be Kansas City. And next weekend is your first one back?
This weekend.
Wow.
This weekend, and then I'm in Vegas. I'm doing the Star Trek in Vegas because somebody dropped out. So I was like, yeah, I'll go.
Ooh.
So
now, that's a world I would love to be a part of, Star Trek.
See, I just got a new car, so I managed to manipulate the buying and selling opportunities during the pandemic. And when I can actually do this, if I'm really clever, and I sold some things and traded some things and got myself a nice new Aston Martin.
Oh, I saw a picture of it. It is so, is it the coupe? Did you post a picture of it? Yeah, right?
Yeah. It's the most ridiculous car I've ever driven in my life. It's my dream car. It's my wife's dream car. Is why I bought it.
Oh.
And it is ridiculous. I got a 12-cylinder, 630 horsepower.
How do you fit your kid in there? Is it 2 doors?
She's in the back. No, it's got 2 little seats in the back. She likes it. Go faster.
I mean, it's perfect. The back seat is perfect for a 5-year-old, right? How fast have you taken your car?
I can't tell you that. My car will do 211 miles an hour. But I have motorbikes that go faster than that. So.
Wow.
I have a lot of Ducati motorcycles amongst other motorcycles, and I'm lucky enough to be a Ducati ambassador. I'm proud of that because I ride Ducatis anyway, and they know what I have. Yeah. And so I have one of the new Superleggeras, the V4 Superleggera. I also have 2 other Superleggeras from the past, and there's my Sedici RR, if you know your bikes. I have a lot of Ducatis, and they're all ridden. I ride them all. The Superleggera is.
Where do you keep them all?
In my garage.
How many bikes?
In my garage right now?
Yeah.
14 or so.
How do you fit that many bikes in your garage?
You've been in the garage. It's a
I
big
know,
garage.
but I've never seen that many bikes in them. I think the garage was closed when I visited.
No.
But next time I come over, I'm looking at these bikes. Okay.
I'm trying to convince my wife to leave her Range Rover outside.
And what does she say?
Okay. But I have some old bikes as well. But what it was, I got sick of having depreciating assets, and I have some taste, and I was like, you know what? I got a little bit of money, I'll buy this, and I managed to get things at the bottom of markets, and I love them, and I look after them.
No, you're very savvy. You're savvy with your career, and you're savvy with finance.
I'm not savvy with my career. If I was savvy with my career, I'd be in a very different place. But I am blessed. It's the only one word for it that I can give you. Those writers, Robbie and everybody else, they've all gifted me things that have changed my life, my outlook, etc. And I'm so proud to know them. They are the creators, They
are, yeah. We are at the mercy, not the mercy, but at the privilege of what the writers give us. And God forbid, like, I'm sure you've been given some scripts and you were just like, how do I say these lines? Because they are hard. This is not well written. And
Jensen once asked me on a plane, sitting on a plane, and he goes, how come your off-camera dialogue's always perfect? And it comes around to you need like 3 takes to do it.
What?
This is a guy that did soaps when he was a kid. So, I mean, he can do 68 pages of rubbish in an afternoon. I mean,
I don't get it. They're just like this.
But he's better than that. But I'm saying he does have that muscle that's incredible.
Yeah.
And I've got it because I said the nicest thing I could say to him. I said, because basically you're going, I love you, bro. Blood is thicker than motor oil. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, dude, whatever. You're doing all that stuff. And I'm the one that actually has the plot. And most of the stuff I'm saying is crap. And I have to find a way to make what it is that I'm saying make sense to me.
Yeah.
So it takes me time to find it. And it's not always conducive in television. That if I've got this massive speech, like my favorite thing is the end of season 8. If you ever watch Supernatural, watch the end of season 8, me tied to a chair. And it's this massive set of stuff. And both Jared and I agree, and Jensen agrees, it's the best stuff we ever did. And it was shot in sequence. So it was the ability to build on this thing.
Yeah.
And it was so organic and so special to do. The crew was 100% in on it. They didn't talk between takes. They didn't talk at all on that set because it was so heavy what we were doing. It was so dark and we were all in it all the time. That's great writing, great support, and it works. And that's the way to do it. And then a lot of the time I was talking with Tim Dalton, they bring Tim and I in to do a scene and we've got pages of clever, whimsical crap, brilliantly written. And, we're brought in at 1 o'clock in the morning to do it in 25 minutes because we're the actors and we can do that.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of room to hit those home runs. And it's very, very difficult to get that. But the writers that I love that have either become showrunners or execs on shows, and especially if they're allowed on the sets, which is the best way to be, see very quickly. Like John Rogers, I was doing a walk and talking leverage. John Rogers goes, shit, I put too many hard constants in that speech. And I'm like, you can't take it out. I'm screwed.
Yeah.
They kept stumbling in a particular place. And he goes, I won't do that to you again. Yeah. I said, I'll get it. It'll just take me a couple of takes. But it has to make sense to me. It's like a story. It's like singing a song. I need to feel whatever it is that I'm gonna feel about what I'm doing. And
you don't get that have you done plays lately or
not lately.
I'm sure that's the thing. I keep wanting to do a play because I'm like, you kind of forget that there is that sort of captive like magic where you just are like, just let me do my thing. Because when you're doing TV acting, I think no one quite understands that you do it in pieces. Like I did a guest star where one of the actors literally just couldn't deliver their dialogue and we stopped and started and then finally got to me and I had to do like massive info dumps. And like being in that environment, you're just like, please let me get through my dialogue. So, just give me a take that's clean-ish.
Well, that's where talent comes in, is that the ability to deal with the compromise, with the lack of perfect circumstances. But when you have really good TV directors, funny enough, Spate's one of those. He's brilliant at it.
Spates is a very good director.
He's one of the best natural directors there are. Because he wants the actors to succeed. And the fundamental principle is a director is supposed to make a place where magic can happen.
Yeah.
And that's the idea. And I've directed and I've done what I've done. And it conspires against the art. Television conspires against the art of good theater, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to find a way through it. You pick your way through it. And you're just hoping to the best of your ability, something's good. And through the pandemic, I had two friends who were both in my bubble and be at different times. And Tim Dalton would be here and we drink tea and watch movies and do what we do. And my buddy Dave, Dave Mitchell, is a big voice actor, does a lot of stuff. But you reanalyze it, and by the time you finished analyzing how difficult it is to do, you give up on the idea and just go, oh, screw it, we'll just do it anyway.
Just get through it.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
get through it.
But you know who you are, and you know what it is, and you know what's going on, and suddenly little gems of whimsy sneak in and do that. It's
I think that's what's wonderful about. I mean, I'm sure you've been a series regular for a lot, and
no, I haven't.
You haven't been a series regular?
Not a lot.
I've never been one.
Being a series
regular. No one's ever put a ring on this. So
nobody put a ring on me for years. They made me a series regular in Bionic Woman for absolutely no reason whatsoever. They made me while I was shooting Battlestar. They series regular in Soldier of Fortune back in 90 whatever.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it?
I'm the guy you bring in season 2. I'm the guy you bring in to
I know, that's me too. That I used to get known as the girl who tanked shows, but I'm just like, no, because they brought me in to boost the ratings.
They put you in too late to change what
too late.
People
Yes,
already
thank
thought
you.
Of the stuff.
Yes,
well, Javier always says to me, he goes, I never write you into the pilot because they always want some pretty guy who's not that good. And so I let them do that. And then I write you into episode 1. Then hopefully they work out they need to keep you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. It kind of almost feels like, well, that's why I kind of always go back to creating my own opportunities.
Always the bridesmaid.
I am always the bridesmaid. It's really, honestly, I almost want to put my foot down. Like when I go back and act again, I'm just like, you know what? Somebody's got to put a ring on it, or I'm just going to stay home streaming video games because I have a good time doing this.
DJ Qualls said that to me one time. I thought it was the most brilliant thing he ever said. He has a price that he wants to do a show. And if he doesn't get that price, he isn't going to do it. It's not worth it for him. And I get it. I did 16 guest star shots in 1 year a few years ago. 16. If I'd have been a series regular, I would have made 8 times the money. It's
true. It's true. And also there is a very, I know that you have some anxiety issues. I have a ton of anxiety issues. And being the new kid in school that many times is psychologically, it's really hard because nobody wants to get to know you any more than just like, hey, because they know you're not there for long. And so you're kind of always on, and everybody expects you to bring it because you don't get the leeway that anyone else does because they're regulars and they're friends.
I did an episode of Burn Notice, which I love. I'm the only character ever that doesn't know who Michael Weston is, even by the end. I have no idea what happened to me, but he did it. Yeah. Only the audience knows that he did it to me. I did an armed robbery in a bank and he happens to be in the bank at the time. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing falls apart. And I have no idea he did it to me. It's just a lovely idea. So I went down to Miami to go shoot it and whatever. And first words out of Bruce's mouth, our dear friend, Bubba Hotep, looks at me and goes, Dick of the Week. I'm like, thanks. And that's what it is. I mean, it's to a point. But my job is to be the most interesting 27 pages or 20 minutes or 30 minutes of that 1 hour that you're putting out there. My job, when they come up to me and they go, well, it's kind of all about you. And I'm like, well, isn't that what you pay me for? Yeah. If you wanted me to hold a shovel and be at the back, I don't think you'd want to pay me that kind of money, or probably pick somebody who's better at doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a lot of responsibility. It's a lot harder, but it is flattering that people think you can carry it, because honestly, a lot of places will go, I think a lot of places will go a more boring route and they'll just pick somebody who you don't remember at all. But the better TV is when you really cast people you're invested in, even if they have one line. And so there
are some cameos very worth doing.
Exactly. We have a couple of questions before we, have you picked up any new hobbies over this past year of quarantine?
New hobbies?
Anything new? Anything new enter your life this last year?
I'm old. I don't change much.
Was it nice to be around? Did you get more time around your kiddo?
Oh, I hate my children.
You have the best kids.
I
I
do have
remember
they're too smart. I found that photograph the other day of you and Will and Max.
in Rome.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, in England, I think, on a couch
oh, okay.
playing a video game,
Yes, 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 yes.
and
That was
they
really fun.
freaked you out with some jump scare thing.
Yes.
I was like,
I just remember us being in a basement at GymCon and
yeah,
all of us and sitting with your kid and just being super impressed with how smart and just together they were and just you're a real irascible person, but you're obviously a good dad.
you're
Irascible.
irascible,
Irascible.
curmudgeonly.
Curmudgeonly. I mean, have you so nothing so you just been kind of just hanging out?
Yeah, I'm not a virtuoso fiddle player or.
I haven't practiced in months. It's there making me feel guilty, just like your drum set, probably.
You got an amplifier over there. What does that
I
play?
do. I have an electric violin right here and an amp.
Ooh.
And then over here, I have a mandolin, a ukulele.
You went ukuleleing. I know that.
For a while, I was learning some. The problem is that I need external motivation to do a lot of things. And playing the ukulele or the violin, it's like, why am I doing this? I could play video games. You're a big gamer too, though. You're one of the only people I remember when we were in a car with Zach Levi and a Star Ferry convention, and you wowed me with everybody and all the things you knew about, especially Xbox, because you were friends with somebody who was like the head of the studio or something.
No, I was. You know what it was? I did the first ever first person shooter for the Wii.
That's it. That's it. Maybe that's when we actually met, because I remember that.
No,
that was the first.
We first met at somebody's office that you happened to be there at the same time.
That was the old manager, but then we reacquainted ourselves in the car in England, going to that. And I remembered that because that was the first year of Chuck, and Zach Levi went and did a stunt to try to get his show picked up, and he was serving Subway sandwiches to people.
Yeah, I
and we
remember
went
that.
to help
I
him.
remember that. It was brilliant, and
it was great.
I ended up doing Chuck.
You got hired on Chuck? Nobody hires me. What is this?
I did, 3 episodes on Chuck.
What the hell?
Brandon Routh was walking toward. I had a fight in an elevator with Yvonne and him. And I was the bad guy's leader at the time.
Oh.
It was so Blofeld. It was the total Blofeld moment. But we had a massive gunfight in an elevator.
See, that's what you do really well. I know that you're not a bad guy, really, but you play a good bad guy, and everybody always needs a bad guy.
Well, it's language, that's all.
Yeah.
It's the Alan Rickman rule. Give the guy who can speak.
Yeah. One day you told me an acting tip about, and I can't remember it, but I found it was always like you have an internal monologue of just F you or something like that.
Kind of. Well, my entire career comes down to 2 things, as far as I'm concerned, which is you either want to play the man that sells them out before they left the planet, right? Dr. Zachary Smith in Lost in Space. I nearly played Dr. Zachary Smith in Lost in Space in Earth 2 back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Guys love the idea. And the other guy is the last sane man in the universe, which is ultimately Eddie Albert in Green Acres. So you could basically say my career is punctuated by Eddie Albert in Green Acres and David Warner in Time Bandits.
Oh boy, that's pretty amazing. Okay. I have a question for you. Okay, we're going to go through a couple more questions. What piece of fiction would you most love to portray a character in? That's a really
Can't tell you that. I can never tell you that because the reason why is things come up and things get close and things get done, and I love the surprise of being able to surprise people with we actually managed to do something. And there are so many wonderful things out there that haven't been done. That was the fact I started a Twitter thing with Gaiman. He was doing Sandman.
I'm surprised you're not in the Sandman or one of the Sandmans.
Well, he publicly turned around and goes, "Oh, you'd be interested?" I mean, everyone went nuts. And I was like, of course. And he and I have always had this really interesting relationship. We walked down street in San Francisco once singing obscure lyrics to Ian Dury and the Blockhead songs as we went to go have sushi. I love that man. I truly love that man's talent and ability. He's an extraordinary.
He is phenomenal.
And he was like, well, maybe I'll write you into season 2. I mean, it's like, it's the way it goes. It's like, I'd love to work with him. I always would. So
I have a feeling that's going to happen,
I
or
hope
maybe
so.
just back in the Good Omens. They're doing another season, right?
Yeah, that's not my vibe. I'm Crowley, so I can't really
Yeah,
be.
you can't do that. That's that's the problem. Now you've been hampered to only be Satan or the devil.
No, not Satan. Satan's
Okay,
Mark.
whatever. I don't watch the show. I'm
No,
just
I'm the
kidding.
king of hell. I'm the middle management
Well,
crossroads
but you're
demon.
but you're
Look
hell
over.
adjacent. Any of the satanic hell adjacent characters, you kind of like you can't do that again. Okay, I have
Cross.
another question.
Go on.
Will have you ever done or will you do audiobooks? Because we're having a lot of people in chat swooning over your voice and wanting to hear you talk to them for hours.
It's weird. I have a wonderful new voiceover agent, Dean Panaro.
Oh.
And Dean was like working out why I wasn't working. And then suddenly my buddy was sitting and talking to Ivy Eisenberger. You might remember back in the day.
Yes, Ivy Eisenberg, I know very well.
Well, Ivy, I hadn't spoken to in 20 years, I said, call her up. I know her. And he called her up. She was offering him a job, some voiceover piece.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I've been trying to get you on Call of Duty for 5 years. And I was like, wow. I had no idea. And she goes, look, this is the way it works. And this is this. And I'm like, and it became a thing. And then the next thing I know, Dan and Amanda are like, let's do this. And I did. But here's the fun thing. I was doing 420 lines in 2.5 hours or so. I did 2,200 lines on that. And I found out I can actually do this stuff really well. And I love it. I truly love the process. I love the people that work in that area.
It's so fun to do a voiceover, and you have such an amazing voice.
Well, thank you. The trouble is I'm very distinctive.
Yeah.
So I don't disappear well. I've got friends who are incredible voice actors who blend brilliantly into what it is they do. And I still sound like me, whether I'm playing American or playing any of the other things. It's just one of those, if you want Mark Sheppard, I guess you get Mark Sheppard.
Yeah.
But, my father's voice was in this register. So he talked constantly like this. But there are a few people who go like, push me around, make me have some fun. But I'm starting to really love it.
I would really love to hear, audiobook, I've done one, and believe me, it is a different skill set. You can't imagine it's a marathon. You're kind of like racing, but you're still trying to just look at it's 7 days of just talking for 8 hours a day. And it is a lot, but I think you'd be really good at it.
Yeah,
a good
challenge. Paid a lot of money for that time, but
yeah, you can do it. They'll get you in there.
I'll give it a go. Anyone wants me to do it, but no, please don't write in asking me to read your phone book to you over Cameo.
There's a lot of people who want you to read them to sleep over here. I don't want to keep you any longer because we are up. Our time is up, but I could talk to you all day. Let's do this again. I would love that, and also I would love to see. I would love to see you and your family in person.
Come hang out. Do
a live
stream from the house.
We do it. I would love to do that.
I got plenty of technology. Listen,
now, where can people come and meet you? Can you please tell people what your conventions are so they can come and meet you in person if they're nearby?
I'm posting pretty quick. I know I'm doing Atlanta on the weekend at the comic convention, the Atlanta Comic Convention this weekend. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. I know I got a bunch of stuff coming up. Knoxville.
Somebody said Kentucky?
Yeah, I'm doing Kentucky. I'm doing a gig in Kentucky coming up. And I've got 3 trips to Europe. I've got Star Fury, which I love. I've got Paris, which I love doing, which will be good.
I would love to do Paris.
And I've got you should actually. I'll talk to her.
Hey, talk to the person. I'd love that.
I will. She's really cool. And I'm doing my favorite, which is Wales Comic Con, which will be in
Wales is another one I'd love to go to. I guess
I told Jamie you're interested.
I would love that. I'm supposed to go to Sweden, and
I've done that one. It's wonderful.
Is it wonderful? I've never been. I mean, to me, going to Europe, I want to live there so badly. But anytime I could go and get my,
I was doing a convention out there. I don't remember if it was Sweden or I think it was Copenhagen. I was in Denmark with Mads Mikkelsen, right? Who is not only delicious and beautiful, but a really really nice guy. So I made him FaceTime my wife. She couldn't speak. She was just crying nonstop for like 10 minutes.
She is so sweet. You are, yes, both amazing. Well, I can't wait to see you. Thank you for taking the time out, and everybody go and see Mark if you see him in person, and follow him at Real Mark Sheppard.
Yeah, you can always find me on Cameo if you need your birthdays and stuff. I think I've sent happy.
Yeah, Cameos are fun. Yeah.
I
I'm
love
sure
it. I love it. So
have him
listen, I want to
breed
thank
something.
you. I want to thank your families of
Oh,
followers there, because it's been wonderful. I want to thank your family,
yeah,
and
thank you.
just keep doing what you're doing. I love it. And we'll do a second one. We'll catch up on some other
I'd love
things.
it. I love it. Let's do it. Okay, you
All
guys,
right, my
I'm going to
dear.
end the broadcast. I'll be right back with some tarot reading and some Fortnite. So give me 2 minutes to say bye to Mark. Bye. I'll be right back.